My name's Paul Young from Monklands District Council Countryside Ranger Service, and as you can see in the background here, we're at the Monklands Canal, one of a series of relic pieces of waterway in central Scotland. Significant in the past, they were main arterial routes between centres of industry and markets, if you like, Glasgow, Edinburgh and some of the major towns and cities in this area.
Ask most people in central Scotland to draw you a picture of a canal, and what they would come up with is probably a swampy little ditch filled with dead dogs, Safeway trolleys and oil drums. You can see, however, this is not the case in Coatbridge. Due to a remarkable amount of cooperation between Monklands District Council and the local coarse angling club, this area here at Drumpellier Park has been completely transformed. The council and the local angling club have worked in cooperation to make this one of the premier coarse fishing venues in the centre of Scotland. Today is Sunday the 10th of June, and tomorrow Scotland take on Costa Rica in the first round of the World Cup in their campaign to become world champions. What many people in Scotland will probably not be aware of is that there is another international taking place today, and that international is between the Scottish and Welsh coarse angling teams. Now, I was at Hampden a few weeks ago when Scotland beat the current world champions at football, and I hope the same thing is going to happen today, because the Welsh angling team which is here today is in fact the world champions. What's taking place now behind me is the draw for the championship, and we'll see who is who and what is what as the day progresses. Paul Young, Head Ranger of Monklands District Council. Paul, when was the canal developed as a...
Well, here we have Paul Young, who is the Head Ranger for Monklands District Council, involved in the caring and looking after of Drumpellier Country Park. He's being interviewed by Pat Morrissey, an interested party, who has a great knowledge of the club and its activities on the water. They are no doubt discussing the past successes of the water over the last 3 years in terms of attracting anglers both locally and from further afield to this venue, the Monklands District Canal. This canal has incidentally been stocked with approximately 15,000 fish over this period, and the policy of the club and the District Council is to encourage the bringing on of these fish to accentuate the angling opportunities for the individuals and clubs involved. During the course of the angling year, the time spent away from home can be either tough on the wives and families of the anglers, or perhaps may even provide a welcome relief in some cases. Of course, the ideal solution is to involve family members in the sport. For example, the active participation in club activities, ranging from the actual angling to helping to organise social functions. The country park itself offers a wide range of alternative activities for the whole family. This will undoubtedly be the subject of their discussion about the future of the liaison between the club and Monklands District Council.
In return for investment in the water.
Very good, Paul. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Richard Jones with me here now. Richard has fished for the Scotland team many times in the past. Today he's acting for the club as a steward, and he's also reserved for the Scottish team. Now Richard, what sort of tactics are we likely to see employed today?
Well, you'll mostly see 199% of the anglers today fishing a long pole, which is in terms of 12-13 metre poles, straight across the bank into the far reach here, because the type of fish that's in it is carp, roach, perch, etc. But they tend to hug the far side, so therefore we're fishing long across, and most of the match there is an inside line. The same inside line is right next to say where the net is, maybe a yard from the bank, 5 feet. There's a shell stack where it maybe goes down to say 4 feet. There's a chance to get odd fish here. This is a kind of reserve tactic as it was, coming back to that, as you see. You mostly see the long poles being used. Anything, as I say, from 11 metres to 13.5 metres, which are obviously the carbon fibre. They're not as if they're very heavy things to yield. Years ago they were like fiberglass, etc. They had a very big diameter, a big tube they could use for the clays. An oil rig, etc. You know, but it's more now. The more expensive it is, the lighter it is in ounces.
Now what sort of price would someone pay for a top quality carbon pole?
Top quality, top of the range, it's anything up to £2,000 now. It's went incredibly professional, obviously is the word we use, but it's went sky high. If you're willing to pay that, obviously you're going to get the best quality. But in saying that, I'm putting MD off, because there is poles £200-300. It's in the range of people actually saving up or anything else or putting by for it. Yeah. And they can still get a reasonable pole 9-10 metres, but obviously the more money you pay, the less ounces you buy, and the stiffer it is.
But a pole, is it possible to land big fish on the pole? What sort of quality of fish are we likely to see here today, and will anglers be able to manage to land bigger fish on the pole?
Yes, the reason for that being is, in the last section of the pole, the tip section as it were, they have an elastic internally fitted into it, which runs a base plug in the bottom of the pole to the top with a PTFE tip. And I'm saying that this is a tip used in plumbing, as I'm led to believe, and it's a self-lubricating tip.
I see.
The elastic there runs freely, so therefore to hook a fish, for talking sake, we'll say 8 ounces, 10 ounces, which is quite good in terms of the canal fishing sort of thing. As soon as you hook it, it makes a dive for the reeds. Yeah. Now, if that was solid and there was no elastic there, it would crack off. So the elastic helps to play the fish, and therefore you'll see during the match, anglers when they do hook a fish, they'll unship the pole, and seeing that they'll pass it behind them, they come to the last 2 or 3 sections of the net, and you'll see this elastic stretch, maybe a foot or 18 inches. This takes a lot of the bouncing and then what have you of the fish.
Very good. Now we've got about 10 minutes to go before the start of the match, so Richard has duties to perform. Let's go and see some of this pole fishing being put in. Do you want to get fish? Clouds fix up. One video with it.
Go on, make up.
Yep.
Yes! Oh.
It's sort of like flashing in and out, so it's so much fun.
You know who that one was?
What's that? Why wasn't it
Up here, and so is the competition. We've just seen Ronnie McLeod, one of the Scotland team members, taking a rather nice roach of about 3/4 of a pound. I don't know what other fish have been caught so far in the competition, but it looks as though that could be a very important fish indeed for Scotland. Many people are concerned about the pollutive effects of coarse angling with regards to, we've seen issues about lead weights, we've seen complaints in the past about the discarding of nylon line which causes problems for wildlife. But today the anglers here are all using lead-free weights which have been devised over the past few years to get rid of that problem. The problem with the nylon line is really a non-issue here too, because the majority of anglers using poles keep all their tackle on what are known as pole winders, and these they set up at home and they take away with them after the event is finished. Well, I have with me John Mayers, the Welsh team manager. I should say the successful Welsh team manager, because Wales are at present world champions. John, what was it like winning that world championship?
Once in a lifetime. The fact that we stuffed England, that made it. We went out to beat England, but to win the World Championship by 20 clear points over the Italians and 40 over England was unbelievable. It's left me now feeling, well, what do I do with my life? I've done it. I'd have to do it again.
You come up here and beat Scotland, I suppose.
Beating us.
Just talking about that, we're about some hour and a half into the match. How is the match going from a Welsh point of view?
From the Welsh point of view, brilliant. From the Scottish point of view, absolutely unbelievable. They're stuffing us 4-1 at the moment.
And do you see that? Do you see that continuing? Do you think your team will put in a late bid?
Well, the dirty tactics of the Scots got to come through somewhere. Yes, I local knowledge of the water. I can see them the way they're performing now, beating us, because the level of angling and skill. I'm a bit worried.
Well, we can only just hope for a good match, a good clean match, should I say. And
we'll play clean, it's you Scots I'm worried about.
May the dirtiest team win. John, thanks very much.
Right.
Great, good man.
Okay.
Cheers.
That's my daughter. They're mine. Keep your fingers off them.
You don't need that.
I need it.
Oh, come on.
I need something sweet, especially on a Sunday.
There's sugar there on the table.
No, you need a chocolate. You actually get, do you know you get a...
No, do you?
Just one of the hell she
Get one of them.
5 minutes to go in the match now, and it looks as if it's been a very hard day for all the anglers. However, the reports we have from the Bankside Telegraph so far seems to indicate that it's a Scotland victory. Scotland have 7 men who have caught fish, as against Wales 4, and while the numbers of fish aren't great, and the size of the fish certainly hasn't come up to expectations, we are fully confident of a Scotland victory.
Just pull them straight in, will we?
Yeah. Okay.
Two pair of roller skates on.
7, 5. You know, 7.5. You want to look right? Come on, Alistair. Yeah.
Come on, Alistair.
You might give me a dram. Bloody dram will go.
No, it's fucking too cheap here.
Well done, mate.
Well done. Well done, Ron. I think that. What's that in pounds, for Christ's sake?
It could be the winner.
Anybody got a brain on them?
You want to sit it up your net?
Is that all? Oh, you're bloody.
I'll sit it up your net then.
Pound 10. 110, 111.
You Scottish and you again. You bloody fool.
Did as low as you possibly can. Right, push this up here again.
Yeah.
Tony nothing. Welsh guy is the second thing, one that's like 5 minutes to end. You really think we can up and down? Whoa, what's going on there?
Put the irons on there.
Well done, John. Okay. Stay over on it.
Hang on, mate.
Excuse me?
John there. Yeah. Yes. Funny book. 1, 2, 1. John.
That's much as that.
Come on, John. What are you?
No.
Are you stood, huh?
Sorry. Let's see the big ones.
Picking that one?
Ronnie McLeod is fisheries manager for the Monklands Club, and I'd just like to get Ronnie's overall impressions of how the day has gone. Well, Ronnie, how did it fish?
Well, it fished very badly, but as you can see, we brought the world champions to the Monklands Canal. We really wanted a showpiece today, and it just hasn't worked. So very, very disappointed.
But the individual result for Scotland seems to be quite a good one.
Oh, team-wise, yeah, we'll beat them on a very, very hard venue. Typical Scottish fishing. The Welsh prefer it when there are a few fish about. It suited us, didn't suit them. It hasn't been much a showpiece, though, and it's unfortunate. We've put a lot of work in. It's a shame. This is the way it's finished. But still, it's been well organised. So.
But the Welsh haven't gone away empty-handed, though, have they? They have taken. It seems they've taken individual.
They're taking individuals, so.
So honours shared.
Honours shared, yes, but be great.
And a good end to the day.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ronnie.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? Thank you. This is the final results session of the Scotland-Wales Friendly International. I won't reply to that, John. Today, as you all saw in the canal didn't fish too well. It's a bit disappointing certainly for us and for the Welsh boys. However, we thank them for coming and for making the event possible. We also thank a number of other people, the Monklands District Council, the Monklands Course Angling Club, and all the people who put all the time in to make sure that the event ran well today. It was a little upmarket because it had the tapes and it had the all-in and the pre-baiting period and all the rest of it. And it was just a pity that only 50% of the anglers caught. However, that's fishing. Next year, I'm sure it'll be better. Now, to present the trophies this evening, we have Mr. John Riley, who's chairman of the Monklands Festival Committee, and Mr. John O'Hara, who is a worker with the District Council Leisure and Recreation. That's his own description. So can I please invite Mr. Riley, Mr. John Riley, to present the prizes. And he would first, John, like to say a few words.
Yes, please, Alistair. Thank you very much. Yes, possibly a contradiction in terms when I say welcome, and probably in a moment I'll be saying goodbye to you. But may I first of all apologise on behalf of the Provost. Provost Cairns has a number of things on at the moment, and I am a poor substitute for him, I'm afraid. But not in the manner in which I say to you that you have conveyed a great single honour on us by coming to Monklands District, and to ensure that you come back next year again. We will be very, very pleased to have you indeed. It would be grand to have a Four Nations competition here, international. But we have so many things going on in Monklands, there's so much to attract people here, that I'm sure that Provost Cairns would wish to honour you officially next year in a particularly formal manner. So I have to be very careful how I phrase my words here because he's not here. But I'm sure he will give you a civic reception if you come back next year. I'm always positive of that. Nevertheless, we're grateful to many people and many groups, as Alistair has said. And I'm sure that in the course of time, when the canal comes back, or is builds up to form, that when you come back next year, you'll find that things are much, much improved. I welcome our Celtic brothers from Wales, who have a very special affinity with Wales, and with Ireland, of course, and that's about it. Not to mention any other places. We're watching very carefully the events in the World Cup at the moment. But we've always had a very close relationship with Wales, and really particularly pleased that you're here tonight. I hope, if you haven't enjoyed the fishing, that nevertheless you've enjoyed the hospitality which has been extended to you. And as I say, I trust that you'll come back again next year. You'll receive a very, very warm Scottish welcome. Thank you. John, would you come forward, please, John, and accept this Monklands District Council shield, Vigilanta. And as a teacher, you'll know what that means, obviously. It means mind your back. And the Scotsman's always get his hand out for something. Alistair, congratulations. Thank you very much, Alistair. Thanks for all you've done. Yes.
I now ask John just to present the trophies for today. The match result, hold it to put my specs on. The match result was Scotland 135 points and Wales 88 points. So and John did remind me that's the first time in 14 years. I think that's what you said, John, wasn't it? So could I ask the Welsh team please to come forward with John and receive your replicas for the event.
I heard that. Thank you very much.
They're all
big fellas.
Oh, wee fellas.
Yeah, small ones.
You're my height.
He said the little ones, so that's...
We get the heavies at the end. Yeah. Well done, Eric. Hello, John. John must have one, yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Very deserving of one. Look forward to seeing him. Yes.
Can I have the Scottish team, please? No, this is that's mine actually, I think, yeah. This is the individual trophy. Although it's a team event, we have a small replica for the individual winner. Although it is a team event, we have a small replica for the individual winner, which in this case is Ron Cousins of Wales. And just a last small present from me personally. I know that John Mayers likes to drink and drive, and he doesn't leave Scotland ever without having a drop of whiskey. So I brought him some just on this occasion. John,
Well, can I say, the piggish Scots, they beat us. Well done, Scotland. I mean, local knowledge paid off there. You knew exactly what you were doing and you showed us the way home. Well done. That's all I can say there. Could I thank all the people that were involved for making this event possible? I realise, I mean, the young ladies in the tent making sandwiches, the ranger that kept it all tidy, all the boys that did the pegging, all the little things that everybody takes for granted. I would like to say on behalf of Wales, thank you very much for it. Next year, I hope the canal is fishing better. It's a wonderful venue. It could be first class. Few more fish, that's all we'd ask for. But anyway, thank you all very much. And thank you, Monksland and District and whatever you'll have to forgive us. We don't know what you call yourselves, but it was... yeah. We've got to come back up next year. We always enjoy coming up to Scotland and beating them. We don't enjoy getting beat. But anyway, thank you, Alistair.
We have yet another personality who wishes to say a few words. Mark Palmer.
Yes. Right, thank you very much. Right, first of all, there's a lot of people who haven't been thanked, and I'd like to thank them. First of all, that's everybody who's English, and there's quite a few of us in here. Come on, let's have some clapping. Right, that aside, first I'd like to thank everybody in the Monklands Club. There's a lot of people who put in a lot of effort, but John Cruikshank, John Burns, Shuggy Lennon and Willie Sinclair were all here at 6 o'clock this morning, putting up the marquee, putting up the tapes and things like that. Ronnie McLeod is also here, and not only did he lead Scotland to this magnificent victory, but he also spent most of last week cleaning out the pegs and things like this. He's put a lot of effort into the canal. We'd like to thank Mr. Paul Young, the park ranger, who's given us a lot of support and put in a lot of effort as well. And we've got a little presentation here. So if you'd like to come forward and accept on behalf of Monklands this nice little watch. It cost me a £5 off Alf McGregor. That. I would also like to thank Alf, Paul's colleague, because he did the artwork for the posters and things like that. And finally, we'd like to thank, they've already had a mention, but Alexis MacLeod and Kim Smith, who did all the catering, and again we've got a little something here for them if they'd like to. Come on. And not forgetting Leanne Smith. Leanne Smith. Leanne Smith. There you go. And that's it. Thanks very much. Bye.
Okay.
Do you wish to say anything more?
Just the final, as I say, haste you back. May I wish you a very safe journey home, and be very careful and don't exceed the speed limit. I've got a son, 6'5", and he's in a patrol car down around that area at the moment. I'll tell you this, he frightens the life out of me. He's in the same house as me. Anyhow, we've enjoyed your company immensely and trust that you will come back and be with us next year. Safe journey home. Haste you back.